and this week I want to talk and I want to show about how to paint horses. This is a question that I received some weeks ago. I have to apologize that I couldn't be faster in uploading this video and doing this video, but I was waiting to paint the right horses and have the right miniatures to do also the tutorial. I did some tutorial in the past when I was painting some of my dogs of war, but now I will focus just on the horses and how to paint horses. Then the first thing that I want to talk about is that, yeah, how to paint horses depends a lot what horse you want to paint. So there are lots and lots and lots of different colors. So the first thing that I do is I go to internet or go to Google and I start downloading pictures of horses. This is one of the most typical horse that normally we have in mind when we talk about horses. And I will explain how I do this brown, quite standard horses. I will say that these are the horses I'm painting are from my yeoman, and I will focus on the brown colors. I will not do blacks and whites. I think they are too extreme, and I don't want to have too many colors on the squad. I will go from ochre to dark brown, and I will show you how to paint different type of horses in that palette. If in the future you're interested in white or black horse, I can do another tutorial. Even for gray horse, maybe I can do another one in future. I'm not sure I will do, maybe I do one gray, but I'm not sure. I think I will focus on the brown and ochre, palomino, and all this type of color of horses. But first, let's look some pictures. So here we see another brown horse. Sorry, so some picture as small is what I download, and I didn't check what was the size when I downloaded, to be fair. But this you see, we pass from quite dark brown to this that is almost orange brown. We have a lot of, you can have, this was interesting me to see that how the white is not symmetrical in the legs of the horse. So it's interesting to see. Here we see another horses, the gray. Here I was interested more on the gray and also the white. The black with the white is so it's just to show that there is a typical white one, and here is one that is called, I think this is the one called palomino. It's almost white, but it's like ochre. I will do one very similar to this one. I will try to see how we can do that. Yeah, we have this one, and I wanted also to cover this color. So I will try to do different colors. You see, even in the browns and ochre and sand colors, you have lots. This is the black one, maybe one of the most difficult horses to do. And what is interesting here, if you do ever black, you see this is not gray. You go to very bright. So this is the way to do black when you want to do this, that the hair is very shiny. You have to go for highly contrasting. Here, this was for me very interesting to see this horse black with the white tail and the white hair. I will do some of these as well. These are brown, well, this white with brown pattern, but we also have the opposite ones, like this one that is brown with some white. So I think I will do one of these on the tutorial as well. Yeah, you have different, you see, for me it's interesting to see how different color of brown. So this is a very leathery brown. Then we have this is like orangey brown. So it's important that you look, and when you paint horses, it's important that you download some pictures. I like when I'm doing something that is from the nature, especially, I like to download pictures to get ideas and to know how horses, real horses, look like, and then try to copy this on my miniature. So I will advise, again, you see this one very dark brown on the brown spots. This one is almost sand color. It's completely different tone of brown. Here we have, yeah, a small group of horses. We see that in the same group there are different colors. Again, another group of horses, we go from black on the left to white here. So it's very interesting to see ones. These ones I wasn't just for the grayish colors, a lot of grays here. We can make this, maybe zoom in to look better the color. So although the resolution is not very good, you can see. Another interesting thing you have to look, the A's are completely black. So normally the horses don't have the white part of the A's. So this is also important, and we see that in most of the cases the mouth is darker. So this is a thing that I will try to replicate in my miniatures. So again, more here is one of the most traditional. Here another. So, and this one thing that I want to show. Also download this to see how the different courses are called, what are the names. So in case you are interested, you always can. I will try to do one like this one. I will try to do also one like this one, and then one with the traditional one, that is the brown between these two, and the one with the brown with the white spots. This is the gray. I love this type of horses, but I will not. I don't want to put each horse of a different color. So I want to change colors, but I want to also repeat some of the colors. I don't want to have too many colors in the same unit. And this is I also download to have some guidance on what is the white pattern they have on the head. What is the white spot? Normally these horses have this white spot on the head, so here we see. And what's interesting for me from this scheme is that when the white goes to the A areas, the A's become blue. I know I haven't seen any pictures like that, but for me this was also interesting to see that this can be very symmetrical or can be completely a random pattern like this one. So very interesting. So this just the introduction of the video, and now I'm going to do one brown horse with these white patterns and black parts, and later on I will do a couple more. So I will split this week, the weekly painting, in maybe 2 or 3 videos, not to put all the color of horses in the same video. I will cover this first one is the introduction plus the brown traditional horse, and in the next one I will do another video covering a couple of colors more.
So after watching this video, I will try to explain how I paint the horses for the yeoman. I already paint one that is here, and I will do some like this one that is the classic brown horse. So I will start the tutorial now with the classic brown horse. Maybe I will split this week tutorial in 2 or 3 parts, because in that way I can show you how I paint different type of horses. So the first one is going to be the classical brown with the white parts, and I will use Morphan brown as a base color. I will not go crazy neither on this squad with on this in this squad with the colors, because I want to keep some coherency, but I also at the same time I want to give a little bit of individuality of each horse. So as you can see, I primed the horses in white, and now I'm going to give a layer of Morphan brown on all the skin parts of the horse. So yeah, just a thin layer of this brown. I don't think I need to explain much here. As always, keep your paint thin, and in case you prefer, you can do 2 layers instead of 1. I think that color is covering pretty well, and 1 layer should be enough. Although you will see that sometimes the color is not 100% consistent. You can see some parts that are going to be more clear than others. Here, if I do some mistake, I don't care a lot, because the other parts will be painted later on, but I will try to avoid to go over other parts. As you can see, I also keep all these parts that will paint later on with a different brown. So I paint all the parts. The only thing that I will not paint from the horse is this part here and the tail. All the other things are going to be painted, and on the foot and of the horse I will paint it completely, and later on I will paint the other things. So as you can see, I'm painting completely this part. Okay, so yeah, I will keep doing that, and I will be back once I apply brown all over the horse. So the layer of Morphan brown is now dry. The next thing I will do is I will use Rhino's hide, and with Rhino's hide I will paint the hair. Okay, I will paint this part. Okay, and again, just one diluted layer should be enough. I mean thin. Right, this is one part that I will paint this one, and the other parts that I will paint with this darker color are the hands and the feet of the horse. So I will go here and I will apply at the bottom like that. Okay. So I will do this at the back to show. Just you need to only put what you see the hair, you can apply a little bit. Okay, I will do something like that. I will take here also this part here. As you can see. Okay, so and then of course we are going to paint the tail with the same color, as you can see. Okay, so I will finalize all this part I started. Here, this thing. I will finalize all this part that I started, and once it's done, and dry, I will be back. So now that the colors have dried, I will do a wash with Agvac air shade all over the miniature. Just be careful that the wash is not accumulating in any part of the horse, especially here at the bottom of the neck. But we apply just a wash all over the horse, especially on the light areas. If you go into the darker ones, don't worry, but will not do any effect on the darker ones because this wash is lighter. So we just do this wash all over the horse, and of course when this is done we need to wait until the wash is completely dry, and this will take some time. This wash will give a very nice shading and will go very close to the color, the big one. Also will enhance the musculature of the horse. See, if you see that the paint is accumulating somewhere, just remove a little bit. Here on the now I wait until this is dry, and I will be back when this is completely dry. Now the wash is completely dry, and I also take the advantage to do all the different details. I didn't go into tutorial on that details like this part or all these things because I want to focus on the horse itself. But I need to paint these parts for the next step. So as you can see, you paint first all the details. Another next step I will do is I will use Nude Oil. So remember that I used first Agvac air shade, and now I will use Nude Oil especially for the darker parts. And I will apply Nude Oil on all these parts where we want to go darker. And this is why I didn't use black, because I think if you use this dark brown plus Nude Oil, it's giving better result. and it's almost black once the nun oil is applied. So just I do a wash in that part. And the other thing that I will do is I will apply nun oil, and I will put an extra wash next to the mouth of the horse. So I will apply some additional nun oil here on the bone, so just around the mouth of the horse. I will do the same on the hands and feet of the horse. As you see, I haven't painted the nail yet. The nail will be one of the last parts that I will paint. And you can go with the nun oil a little bit out of the darker brown. That way you will do a better gradient of color. So as you see, I go a little bit higher. Will give a very nice gradient. So again here on this. So we will do the same on all the legs. Also we have to take into account that because the previous layer normally by gravity goes a little bit down, the bottom of the legs are already a little bit darker. So this will emphasize what we did in the previous layer. Of course the tail I will apply also nun oil. As you can see, I'm quite generous with this wash, and it's not a problem if you do any mistake on top of other brown, but I try to focus just on the darker areas, the areas that I want to make it darker. So you see, apply a little bit more here. Here I will try to make it a little bit more irregular, not that hard transition. I will apply a little bit around the A, here and here, to make the cavities of the A's a little bit darker. Of course, as I did this metallic part, I will apply on the metallic parts here. I will apply on the metallic parts here. Okay. So this is then the step I did now. And now, as usual, when we apply a wash, and this is quite a generous wash, we will need to wait until the wash is completely dry before doing next step. So now the wash is drying, most of the things are a little bit here to dry, but I can start working on doing the highlights on the horse. And what I will use Morphan brown again, and I will use the Cadla brown. It's more orangey color. So I will start first, and here we have to work with very thin paints. So I will start highlighting the musculature of the horse. So what I will do is I will go the part that I think enhances the musculature, and I will use a little bit of Morphan brown, and then I will mix a little bit of the color brown. But you see, the color brown is too light, so I will try to not to go too light. I just enhance a little bit the musculature, but keeping the darker color. So you don't want to go extremely light. Maybe only with Morphan brown is enough, because we applied the wash, and now the color on the horse is much darker. So as you can see, what I do is try to go where I think them will help to enhance the musculature of the horse. So take a detail brush. For example, here I will apply, then you can take a little bit of the color brown and do a little bit, same on the ears. So this is the part that needs a little bit more of passion, and yeah. I'm working with the highlights, so around the A I will apply. it's important, even in a horse, it's also important to pay some attention to the... I will not add this on the mouth or on the mouth, because I wanted, you see, it's darker and I wanted to keep it like that. I don't want to go now with a lighter color, so I will keep the mouth of the horse darker. And here I will apply a little bit of this brown to highlight, but later on we are going to do the white thing, so just it's important that we highlight before we apply the white. In that case, once we apply the white, and what I will do is I will put here a little bit of mixture of both. Will help me to work. So I did a little bit of mixture of 1-to-1 between the color brown and Morphin, because it will help me to do some lighter accents where are needed. Ears over the A's. There are areas that strategically is interesting to do some accents, even some musculature around the knees. So you want to create some bright zones that will show the horse more liveful. So you can see, keep working. So there is not much to say here, it's a matter of passion and keep highlighting the parts that you think are important. For example, here there is like a little, the neck muscles. You want to do some soft highlight here, for example, is important because this will give the impression that the horse is healthy and is in good shape and is strong. So I do the same here. Then you do a very light one like that. Here I will apply on top of this muscle. So you see, and the wash will help a lot to show us where we need to highlight. And normally I highlight here at the backs of the horse. You see, when it's too much, I go back with more from ground and I try to smoothen. It's a little bit too thick. So this is the work. Okay, will be the other side, but this is how you want to work on the horse. So I will do the other side and I will be back. So the highlights on the horse are now made. You see now the musculature is more visible. And now the next step that I will do the white spot. And you remember that I have different pictures, so there are different ways to do this white spot. I just put in my screen the picture that I want to follow and I try to go close to this picture. In that way I do something that it's looking more realistic, and I try to do something different to this one. I will say I will only do 2 horses like that, and then I will do other brown colors for horses. That my intention is to do maybe another tutorial with a different color. So I will split this week. I will maybe this week tip will take more than one day, because I would like to explain different ways to paint the horses on different colors, as I explained in my introduction video, in my introduction part of the video. There are a lot of different types of horses, and yeah, most likely in a squad you will have not only one type of horse, you will have different types. In that case, you see I go for a quite a thin line. I'm using a Screaming Skull, and what I do is I freehand just the spot, and you can do the spot that you want. I'm doing one that is going quite down, and I will go a little bit on the mouth, so it's one of the that are thin and long to simulate this one. Okay, so this will be enough. And yeah, and now the next step, and for this white spot, just I don't need to do any highlight. I just put Screaming Skull, or you can use also Svatty Bone to do that. I would not use white. White is too bright and it's too contrasting, so I prefer to use a creamy color. The next thing I will do is I will take this color, Dumble Brown, that is quite a dark brown, and I will do some very bright highlights on the hair of the horse. You don't want to do dry brush with that, because if not you will go too clear. What you want to do is to simulate like brights on the hair. So if you have a healthy hair, you will have some brights. So I will go through the hair and I will apply some highlights in some parts like this. Here I will do the same. Normally in the part, try to follow always in the same position. I'm going, so this part is going to be difficult, as you can see, but what I do is something like that. Here on the top I will apply a little bit, just some brights to make the hair not to look too uniform. Okay, something like that should be enough, and then here I'm going to do a little bit. I will do something a little also on the tail. When you try to highlight a hair, normally you can go with your brush horizontal, apply very little pressure, and you will highlight very easily the hair. Especially these tails of horses that are very engraved and are very deep. The engrave is very deep. So as you see, I go horizontal with my brush. Here is a little bit of mistake, you can correct this. First I will do all the highlights, then if I do a mistake, you see I go horizontal, you do some highlights. You don't need to go very crazy, and you don't need to do a lot of highlights. Just pick some hairs. See, this should be enough. I will not do more. Here that I put too much, I go back. You can use again Rhino's hide. This is the old pot of Rhino's hide. We use Rhino's hide to, if we do a small mistake, to correct, and if it's needed and you find that it's too bright, also to reduce a little bit the brightness, you can water it down and make it like a glaze and go through the areas that you just highlight. Water down is like making and otherwise you can soften a little bit the brights if you find that they are too contrasting. Okay. At this point, yeah, now we have to do just some details on the legs. We also want to do a small highlights here. Okay. This will be enough. And then next thing that I will do, I will paint the nails. I will use in that case Racker Flesh. Again, I will not use white, it's too contrasting, and this will give the right color and will not be as clean as white. So I apply Racker Flesh here. I will leave there some sand glued on the nail. I will give it will simulate the sand that the horse is kicking up when running. Here also we'll put a little bit and make it in the parts that are visible, of course. As you see, Racker Flesh already looks very bright, so this way I don't recommend to use pure white. Of course, I will not explain how I will work these parts, the clothes and the leather parts, because my focus, as I explained before, is on the horse itself. So this is one way. And then, in the case that we are going to use white, is to do the ace. And to do the ace, what I will do, you need a brush with a very thin, and I will do very small dot to show the bright of the ace. This brush is not appropriate. Have a small. No. Just at the back of the A. This is too big, it can be corrected. I will do another one at the back of the A here. Okay. If in my case you see that the dot is a little bit too big, the way to make it smaller is go back with the brown Rhino's height and cover the white back, leaving just a small dot. Like that. Okay. And now, last thing that we don't have to forget, especially when the horse has the mouth open. Horses usually have big teeth. I will use again. In that case is Screaming Skull. Usbati Bone is working perfectly as well. Okay, I get dirt. And what I will do is I will paint the teeth. Normally here the teeth is like a block. Try to make like that, like dots, where you can, and the teeth of the horse can look big. So this is what it's looking like. So yeah, this is how to do this, the traditional brown horse. I think this is good enough, especially if you're looking for tabletop. This is more than good enough. And now, yeah, here we'll finalize this tutorial. I will do maybe a couple of more tutorials on horses this week, taking profit that I'm painting more of these guys to show you how I will do different colors of horses. So this is finalizing the tutorial on the normal brown. And now, yeah, just to give you opinion. And let me know if you want to learn anything, any other thing about painting. If you're interested in any painting tutorial, please drop me a message below. Let me know also what you think about the painting of this horse. But I'm very interested to know if you're looking for any type of tutorial that you cannot find. Maybe I can do something. I cannot promise that I can do anything because it depends a lot on the miniatures that I'm painting at this moment. But I try to adapt my tutorials to what the people is asking, if in case they ask for something. So now, thanks a lot for watching this video and see you again later. Bye!